Welcome to the Inner Room with Out of My Damn Mind. This is the space where walls fall away, where stories don't just get told, they land. Messy, real, and alive. Here, writers open the door to what drives them, what haunts them, and what keeps them going. Every voice has its own rhythm, its own scars, its own sparks. And together we trace the threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. I am so excited to introduce today's co host, Zoe. Thank you for being with me today.
I thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so very excited. I've been excited all day. And as I am in Europe and Germany, and you are in the United States, it's
Yes.
already evening for me, and it's still lunchtime for you. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the sun is peeking through my window over here. The weight of
yeah,
almost poet. Thanks for joining. It is. I love this ability to make connections, not just in the States. Like I love that I can branch out and speak with people from other countries. It definitely continues to allow perspective because I've been born and raised in New York, and when I grew up in the Bronx, so like there's a certain stigma that people know about where I'm from, but I don't really know much about anything else from where anybody else is. So until I get to my exposure of that, I'm just thinking like the world is what I've been surrounded by. And that is far from the truth. So I love opportunities to continue to get to know people from everywhere. So really thank you so much for being here. I am so excited and I'm just rambling.
no, you're fine. I've been to New York several times, and I really liked it. And of course, I've been uh, watching New York on television the whole weekend,
Yeah.
uh, wondering how this must have felt. The huge rallies must have been an
Uh
amazing energy, like a lot, right?
Cash Flow Collective, thanks for joining. So I went to my first rally ever in my life. I took my dog with me and I went an hour upstate and met my aunt. So I was far, far away from the masses that were in Manhattan, but it was still something to be witness to a whole bunch of people that are feeling very similar about what should be for profit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, healthcare, housing, and food should not be for profit. And to hear that made me feel less alone in my thought process of feeling the same and like just wanting, like, why can't we just all share this earth without having this thing called greed? But it was something cool to be a part of. It was definitely an experience. I can only imagine what it felt like to be in Manhattan, surrounded by millions of people. I
Yeah,
personally feel like that would have overwhelmed me. Um, but I
I
also feel
imagine
like
that too. Yeah.
somebody with your background would have thrive in the energy of a peaceful protest and seeing the masses around you. Like that's a pretty dope experience either way. So, you know?
Well, I've
Right?
been on many rallies of my life. I just always
Mm.
had a feeling like, you know, sometimes I got to do something. So if I can be peacefully protesting, that would be one thing I could do.
Well,
So
it's
yeah.
definitely now, Susan, thanks for coming. The Way of the Warrior Monk, thanks for joining. My name's my part. I just want to like I lived 7.5 years in Florida, which is a very different state from New York. And during 2020, that's what was really like a pivotal time for me to start paying attention a little bit more to the temperatures around me. And it was honestly a big reason why I left the state because I no longer felt safe or comfortable or welcomed. I didn't feel aligned with where they were. And for me, it was like, I think it's time for me to go home. Um, so now being here, I feel like it would be wasted to not continue to show up in ways that would continue to feed my soul. Like I want to feel good about the path that I'm walking. And I can't just sit back and like demand a whole bunch of, well, this should be this way and this should be that way and not like actually like go meet, coexist with other people that are really trying to peacefully do something the right way, just bringing awareness of how the masses are feeling about certain things here. So it's definitely
But you
something to be
say
part of.
something important. It's like about our own truth as well. You got to feel yourself and be mindful about yourself as well. It's so very important.
Yeah. Well, I can we just got started. I didn't even ask a single question yet, and I can already tell that this conversation is going to literally be everything that I need and
Well,
more, you know?
I'm getting so much of what I need when I'm reading you. I
Oh,
really
that's so
am a fan
sweet.
of your writing. Yes, I really am.
I'm a fan of all of you. I think you're one amazing creative human, and I feel very lucky to have a conversation. So, Cosmic Sushi, thanks for joining. Anybody that's new here that has no idea what the inner room is, basically, I curate 20 questions for my co-host, and we just kind of let that lead to whatever conversations come about. So, I appreciate everybody being here, but more importantly, so I appreciate you being here. Are you ready? Let's get into a
I
question.
am ready. I am ready.
Um, when did music first start feeling like home for you?
Oh, that was like love at the like that was just love from the very beginning. I started playing piano, I think it was about like 3 or 4 years old.
Mm,
I I used to sit underneath the grand piano of my grandmother in her house. It was like she had a huge like a yeah, she had like a living room and with a grand piano, and there was a bucket of dried flowers on top of it, and nobody was playing. So I used to sit underneath and play with my doll or just hide there. Like this, I could be part of the whole conversation of the adults, but nobody talking to me. And then once she had a guest, and this person was playing, and I was sitting underneath, and the whole body of of this instrument had such a huge volume. And I was like, this is for me. That
mm.
was just like, it got me. It was just one feeling. And from this moment on, I was just going on everybody's nerves. I really wanted to have a piano. And my grandma bought me a piano, of course, not a grand piano, like a small one, a normal one for students. And then I was just very lucky. I got into a music school that had extra classes for extra, how did they say that? For like not only young kids, but they give us extra lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I happened to be talented. That's what they said. And it was just me and another girl, Stephanie. And we got to have this amazing teacher. And I play ever since. And it became my everything, like really my everything. Nobody ever had to tell me, you have to go and practice. No, I would just do this because I loved it from the beginning. And well, yeah, my dad has something I wrote notes, like really like, the notes and the lines and notes with words. And I couldn't even really write properly, but I could write the right notes. Reading music was my first language before I was even able to really write the ABC properly. So this first little song I wrote about one little girl going to the woods. I don't know where this idea ever came from, actually, but it still exists, and it's so very funny because the notes are completely correctly written, but then you see the letters in like, completely like a little girl drawing more the letters. Everything is wrong. Everything is spelled so wrong. But yeah, it was music for
But
me
music.
from the beginning.
I feel like that's beautiful. I have this I don't know if you could see it with a light, but I have this like little thing that says every life has a song, and it's
Yeah.
music notes. And so many people stop me and like, "Oh, what song is it?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's actually a piece of the tattoo I didn't actually think about." It's just it's not actually a song. Like it's just random notes. But like people that love music like look at me like, "Wait, that's not a song?" Like, I'm like, I was like 18 when I thought about it. I didn't think that far. So to know that like that was literally what you could read before you could read,
Yeah.
that's something special. I do feel like certain like people are born with specific talents to get them through the life that they're destined to have. So I love that music is that for you. I have my own little connection to it, but I can't sing and I can't do an instrument. And apparently I can't even pick a song.
No, but there was I never thought about this. For me, it's like even funny when people say, "Oh, but you can actually read the notes." And like, yeah, sure, because it's so natural to me. I just did that all my life. It's something I just happened to do. So I don't have to think about it. I can read a piece of music and I can hear it. Like if you're reading a book, you understand the words. So I always say music is a language, so you can learn it. And one thing is like you learn it by listening and with feeling it, but you can actually also read it. You can understand something. And I feel so very blessed that I have this because music really saved me through so many things in my life. I wouldn't be the same person if I wouldn't have music and this access to it. And playing the piano was one thing where I really learned that there is expression for my emotions, and everything can transform into something beautiful. And the language of music taught me so much. It just opened the whole spectrum of emotions to me that I had no words for. But then I had sound, and it really helped me. And the singing really came later because I was so very shy singing. I would sing at home, but I would have never sing in front of people. Like it was like something, no, yes, in church or something, yes, or in a choir, but me alone, mm-mm, And then, no, that came pretty late. I think I was like 18, 19 or something when I started like singing. I was so shy that I had to turn. It was so embarrassing. The first time I had to sing with a band, with a jazz band in front of an audience, I was so shy that I actually turned my back to the people, you know, because I was just like, my face was red, and everyone said, "But you've been playing piano concert and thing." I said, "Yes, of course I did."
So it is
But a
different.
piano is a big instrument, A piano is like that. I wasn't alone because I was me and the piano, or the piano and me. But then singing a mic is just something small, you can't hide. And a voice is also something that you can't hide, nothing. You can have a good technique and everything, but your emotions will still um they kind of have a life of their own. They interact with other people and connect, or just not connect. So I was very shy, and it took me a while. Now I don't have this problem anymore. Now I'm just like good to go.
Now I'm like, "Hey, drop a beat real quick. You ready to sing?" And you would just sing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, if you wanna do it for a closing act, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, we can do that. If I still have a voice,
If you also
yeah.
if you feel okay to do that, 'cause, tell the people what you've been doing, let them know what you've been doing. Where have you just come from? What have you been doing?
Well, actually, I just been on tour. I've been closing my whole summer tour with some more gigs. I've been touring in the north of Germany, and it's been a tough ride. I am telling you, my band is living in Portugal, and they all flew in, and from the beginning, everything went wrong. So they missed the
Yeah.
flight. Everything was lost. I had to rearrange everything. I almost had to cancel a show for the very first time. We made it. The venue was not nice at all. Everything was just like against us. We played a great show in the end, but it was just so tiring. And then we had to keep going. We had to go with like packing everything. Being on tour is like you load the instruments, you're driving on a venue, then you build your stage, like not the stage itself, but you build all the instruments, you do the sound check, depending on how late you are. Hopefully you're not late, so they're planning in some time for you to eat. And for me, like to change clothes and put on some makeup and trying to look like a stage person or someone that should be on stage, right? Uh, but then after the show, this is like a meet and greet with people. It's me talking to some fans, or I call them like family, and then it's you pack up everything again. You try to stay warm. This is where I have my cold from. This is why I got so sick, because it was very cold and you sweat on stage and you even change shirts and everything. But you're always like something might be cold, like you've been sweating, so your hair is a little bit wet and you're out there in the wind, and then but then everything back in the car. Then you're trying to find your hotel and trying to sleep, and then check out early because I have to keep driving, and it's always like this. It's like a big hustle. So um, I'm so glad we finished and we did well. It's
How many cities did you wind up, traveling
um,
through?
well, this was the end, but in total it's been like 19, and this was the end. So we were just like four cities, but that was just the end of the whole tour. I had a little
Yeah, but
break before.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, it's still a lot, and sometimes
I just
yeah.
wanna put that out there. I have not been to 19 cities in my life, so just throwing that out there. So
But for me, it's always that is just the life of a musician. You've got to be you've got to be liking being on the road. I kind of like being on the road. I also even like the hustling. I like this feeling. Everybody in the mornings, we're all with our sunglasses, and big hoodies, and we like nobody's really talking. We're just having coffee and just try to figure out and put on a GPS, trying to figure out the road to the next place we've got to go. But what I love about my crew is that we all really love seeing something about a place. So there would always be at least one or two, we're just five altogether. I would like to go for a little walk and see at least something of a place we're at. Because like this, we really get to see so much. Music brought me to so many beautiful places in this world, what I'm really grateful for. And I figured out over time that it makes so much more fun when I be like, oh yeah, I've been to San Diego, but I actually got to see a little of the place, not just the venue and then the backstage and then the hotel room and then bye bye. So we're trying to have some time.
That's good because I was gonna say, like, it would be a shame if you visited all these places and you really didn't get an opportunity to see some of it. I just wanted to pay attention real quick to the chat. Welcome in Kathy and Beth. It's okay that you're late. I do this thing, and you have the ability to watch it again if you want to, my friend. Appreciate everybody for being here. But yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that a group of you decides to like take a moment to take in the place that you just performed in, outside of the venue that you performed it in, because I know you're okay. I know one day I'm gonna pack up my Subaru and me and my dog, and we're gonna go I'm gonna get to San Diego. Just wait. Just I will
Yes.
eventually. I say it all the time. I'd love to make a road trip to any of the subsectors that are in the United States, and then I'll get to broaden my horizons, make sure I have my passport, and go visit some new countries because I think it would be fascinating. Like I said, I really enjoy doing this and having opportunities to meet people from different places because you guys all bring different perspectives that, like I said, in reality just wind up helping me continue to see through my own path, you know?
And isn't it amazing how we can also just connect to I mean, I know you because I've been reading you. I started to follow you because I felt something through your words and I felt a connection and we're building from there and we're just living completely different lives in different continents, different countries. I think this is just beautiful. There are so many people saying, oh, wow, like to be online is so bad. I am so very happy.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have this, I wouldn't be able to talk to you, maybe never read anything, you know, out of your universe. And for me, it's just mind blowing. I'm talking to you like you would be sitting right here with me, if you're close. I think that's amazing. And welcome everybody. And so I'm so excited. Some people watching. Um,
People are watching, people engage sometimes. Like I said, I love when my chat decides to play along. Sometimes people just sit and observe, and I appreciate that too. If you again just joined, Zoe is with me. That is the lovely, amazing human speaking to me today. We haven't really talked about. I only asked one question, so it's a
oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
It's a beautiful day. But that I adore you, and I adore anybody who wants to put themselves through reading 2 minutes of my work. Meaning in the sense of I can appreciate the people that find resonance within me because it does make me feel a little bit less alone in my thought processes. I have definitely opened my mind up a lot more to getting to know a little bit more about myself based on other people's reads because there are so many talented people who talk about so many different things. So it again, knowledge is power for me, and I love the platform and the ability to make connections with maybe people you would never come across in real life. So thank you again for being here. I gotta ask you a question though.
Uh,
I gotta do it. How do you balance stillness and ambition? The desire to rest versus to pull to create and share.
Well, that is a very interesting question. I've been just recently sharing a post about this, and um, that this I really need the stillness. And I'm figuring it out. The more I do, the more I need it because I actually take a lot of time. to really figure out things for myself, to like think it through. And if I am not clear with myself, I know I cannot write a good song and I cannot really um, put out what I want to say and find the right words or the right and the right sounds. Um, and really add on to something good for someone else. I could probably like write something for me, just write it all out and just scream it out, whatever. But if I feel responsible for my creations and I feel a responsibility that what I'm sending out there um, makes sense, at least like as much as I can make any sense. So
Mm.
stillness is important for me. And I find it in long walks. I'm a person, every day I'm going for a walk, whatever the weather, I'm going out there. Nature kind of, centers me. Or if I'm somewhere where it's not nature around me, I just also walk to a city. I just like it's walking more than it has to be in nature. If that can be in nature, that's beautiful. Um, if there's just nothing, just a concrete jungle, I would walk through that kind of jungle too.
It's still fresh air.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
your body's exposure to the sun, and that is something that we need anyway.
Yeah, and
Peop
just like, yeah, being in a movement and slight
Yeah.
movement, this is where I find peace. And then, of course, making music and warming up a voice is a very meditative process because you do the humming, you do the breathing, and then I'm playing scales forever. So this also brings me into balance. The thing that you said, like the ambition and the stillness, um, it's something I learned that it has to match. If I don't take care of my own mental health, my ambition is just, it's worth nothing because I will not be able um, to hold my strengths. I will not be able to fulfill my own mission. If my plan is too big, I just get it big time, like boom, slap in my face. That's it. You have to rest, or I get sick or I fall or something. I just had it right now. The tour has been a lot. I've been exhausted. I've been like really working a lot. I've been working on songs. I've been doing live shows. I've been writing. I've been like, put out already shows up for next year. Um, so I felt like, okay, no, that's not a miracle that I'm getting sick right now, that I was so sick I even lost my voice. Not because I strained it or overworked it, but because it was just too much. And I did not get enough time of stillness in. So what I wrote today, that I posted today, and actually clashed it with all like different posts. I had like two posts out today. So I even interfere that this is how much like I confuse myself when I am not in tune with
Mm,
myself because I was overseeing that I need the rest,
mm.
you know? But I
Yeah.
wrote about this that um sometimes everything gets too loud in my head, inside my soul, everywhere. And until the point that it's so loud that it just like it's only noise, like distortion, right? And um, I really take time then to kind of decipher all those different voices and thoughts and feelings inside of me that come up, and then once I'm taking the time, once I'm kind of kick back and accept and surrender to the moment that I have to um, just be in one point, and that point is inside of myself, and I have to come down and like really ground and bear with my own feelings. This is when everything starts to become clear again,
Mm.
slowly. And I am not a very patient person. I'm telling you that. I am not a patient person. Not patient with myself. With other people, I am. With myself, I would just want myself to be, good, and sharp, and I expect myself to do a lot because I am very creative, and it also is something that it relaxes me. Why other people think, oh, but you're stressing out yourself, you're writing, you're doing this. Then no, it totally, this is actually calming.
I'm
You
vibing.
know,
Leave me alone.
exactly. I am vibing. Maybe you find it stressful. It's not me. Like I
Right.
love everything that I do, and it does that for me. If I don't do anything creative, this is when I'm this is when it really gets bad. I need this as is my outlet of
Mm.
my emotional chaos. You know?
Listen, we
Okay.
we all have to have something that we all have our ways. Beth agrees with you. She says, "I feel this." I wanted to just welcome in Mia, Rhonda, and Nasir or Solomon. I think you told me last time you were in here. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have just I thought that I moved to Florida. Things are slower. Literally, nobody's in a rush to do fucking anything down there. Like, not a single soul. Nobody. um, and I come from a city life where if you're walking too slow on the sidewalk, they will push into you to get you out of their fucking way. Like, that is what I know. And then I go and I live somewhere that it's like, yeah, what are you in a rush for? Look, the sun's out. Like that type of thing. So it definitely helped me learn some type of patience, but being back here, it is hard to stay patient when all the energy around you is also so impatient. So I sometimes lose my mind out here. Just throwing that out there. So I would love to be able to learn that balance a little bit more. So when that happens, I usually find myself away from people in my own space or on a walk with my dog. That's why they're great. Because yeah, sometimes the noise can be loud. That's all.
Yeah, the noise can be loud and the noise can be outside. And then the noise inside, I figured that the noise inside of me is actually mostly even louder than the construction in front of my house.
Mm,
Because it's myself is like loud in my head. It's keep on going, keep on going, keep on, like a lot of things. And uh I am still learning this, really to just let myself be. And the whole year I've really been on a mission with myself saying, okay, I'm learning to accept myself right here where I am right here, right now. And I don't have to find a solution. It's totally okay to also not be okay. It's totally fine if I don't know what is going to be next. And this is very difficult for me. It's difficult because I just trained to, to find a way out. I'm like, I'm a survivor. I've survived a lot of things. I know you did too. And I'm sure a lot of people did.
everybody in this space, I feel like has survived something. That's why they're all here. But yeah, you bring up a really good point. Like it is hard sometimes to keep the noise out and everything. Beth says it helps keep you in the moment. So I guess when you can stay centered and just breathe and be in nature, that it keeps you there. Mia says hustle of New York City. Yeah, it could be not forgiving. So it is important to remember how to be present, like Beth just said, I guess. I
Yes, how to be present. And you know what? And then I have this beautiful thing that uh, I can make actually a sound. I'm making a sound in myself, and then I feel it's also my outlet.
mm,
It's like, and then I'm adding my own sound, and sometimes I my voice is too silent. It's not loud enough, not because I'm not singing loud, but because I feel everything else is too much. you know? And so I have to really blend it out. And funny enough, music always does it for me. It gets me in there. And I find that it's like, it feels somewhere around here that I feel so centered. And I'm finding, um, I don't have any better expression than I'm really finding a light inside of me. It
mm,
feels like um, it feels like not like a light, like a lamp, but more like a spark is something in there that that I can rely on, that is always there. It never happened to me in my life that I had like a that this my entrance to this part in me is blocked. You know, it might not always shine so bright or not be so strong, but I always feel it's there. It's like connected to my heartbeat,
mm.
and it might maybe sometimes I'm not making music, so I would be writing. If I don't have it writing, I might be cooking, and arranging things uh, drawing. This is just my way to find the balance and also to be present. As
Right.
she just said, like to be present is really means like, where am I today? How am I really feeling today? And trying to meet myself. Um, Also in my weak moments, and don't judge myself in the very moment I am. this is something I'm really trying to let go because I was fast saying, okay, Zoe, you suck here. You just no good. You don't, like all those kind of things. Like it constantly like, bah, bah, bah. And now I'm just like, okay, that is like an experiment that I have with myself. I'm like, okay, I observe myself and let myself be. And it feels so freeing. I can only recommend this to everybody. Like,
I
let
would say,
yourself
like, I
be.
think I think you really just hit something there with the observe yourself. So, like, making it like more of an experiment. Like, okay, now that I can step back from the situation and review my reactions or lack of or whatever response something happens, and really get to better understand yourself. And then I think when you start developing better habits of more of being present and not being reactory, you start to be able to kind of help yourself navigate through the moments where maybe you're a little triggered, and and it's still important to give yourself grace when you don't show up how you hoped you show up. Like
Oh, yes.
that's something that I'm kind of learning is like, oh, why the fuck did you just react like that? That's not where you're at. Like, why did you do that? And then like, okay, now you have to unpack that a little bit. So
Yeah.
but like give yourself time and grace to do that. Like it's not really it's okay. You're human. You're gonna keep making mistakes. So
Hopefully hopefully we're gonna make a lot of mistakes,
and
not
learn from
because
them.
it's funny to make mistakes, but if we just could be more mild towards ourselves and also to others, and don't think that this perfect is a thing because there is no such thing as perfect, and I don't even try to be perfect. I just try to
Do you
be
try to just be
alive.
you? Do you try to just be
Yeah,
you? Because like, right now, I'm definitely focused on, like, who the hell am I? Like, because
yeah,
I feel like we have very similar stories and upbringings and stuff where we were you can look at us and be like, "Hmm, that one wasn't supposed to be here. How did they get here?" And that makes you feel certain things. So, it also dictates what you feel like you have to be,
yes.
you know, to be relative in where you are. So, I feel like this is the first time in my life that I'm definitely just like, "Well, what do you wanna do?" Like, and allowing myself to just be whoever the fuck I am, unapologetically, I think, is the best way to be sometimes,
And it's great,
Right? Don't you
it's
enjoy it, like, just being you? Because
totally,
I
I
adore
totally
you.
do.
Like, your vibe and everything, I adore you. I wanna get to a comment, though, because they're talking to you, and I don't know if you can see it, but Poet Amavi said,
Yes, oh, Mama B.
Shouts to impress divine Zoe. Keep striving forward on your journey. Don't
Thank
hate
you
me
so
for
much.
but they hashtag Rastafari.
Yes,
So
yes.
I just wanted to shout that one out because they were talking to you, and I was like, I don't want them to think that I'm not paying attention because I am, but Beth also just said at 57, I'm still reminding myself to just be. The Diary of a Relationship Coach and The Queen's Addiction. Thanks for joining. She also says you were shining so bright. Oh,
And
um,
we're shining together here, and I just love that. It's like I cannot really see the comments because I kind of,
I know
if
we're
I
on
put on my
props right now. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
if I
okay.
put on my glasses, you don't see my face at all. First, the glasses are so big, and then the light is reflecting. So
I know sometimes I hate that because you guys can totally see like my laptop in my glasses, but I'm like,
no, but don't worry about it because your glasses. But look, my glasses are so big. I show you.
I
They're
love them though. I love
they're so big. But I'm always like, okay, I love
them.
wearing glasses. I would say, yeah.
Diary of a Relationship Coach. Thank you for being here. I see that. Solomon says, we are human enough to feel pain and spiritual enough to ask what the pain means. That makes us stronger than we believe. I love that. Kathy,
Mhm.
thanks for joining. Diary of a Relationship Coach says, learning and then befriending the feelings that arise. Authentic. Michelle, thanks for coming in. I think that's true. Like, there are some times that something will happen and I'll feel something and then I'll be like, why do you feel that way? And then if I can't answer that question, then let's not feel that way. Like
Yeah,
if I can't, like if there is no, if I can't even convince myself, then why are we allowing that feeling to exist right now? Then let's shift it to the way that we want to feel and like just move in that light instead. That's kind of been my way of maybe tricking myself into some shit. I don't know.
But I totally get that. But where I am at in the moment is like I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a certain way and I don't know my way out.
Mm,
And I am learning to just let it be. I'm still observing myself. I just like, oh, I feel terrible. Like the last week I was feeling so sad, so exhausted and everything was so much. So and I didn't try to make it any better. I tried to just fully be in this feeling and sit with it and lay with it and be in it. And I was crying and everything. And I'm not easy to cry. I was just like so emotional about everything. And okay, but I wanted to even feel it. I didn't want to kind of get rid of it only because it's uncomfortable.
mm,
Because if I felt like this is where I really grow. And I think our society is so focused on um, optimizing ourselves. Everything that is does not feel pretty, does not feel well, or is sad, or just anything uncomfortable is supposed to go as fast as possible.
mm.
We're not supposed to feel like this. I had a conversation this morning with a friend from Nigeria, and he said he is so very angry sometimes. And I said, well, I think this is such a valid emotion to have to be very angry because life can make you so very angry. So why aren't we not allowed to feel angry? Of course, we're not allowed to go out there and beat someone up because we are angry, right? But to neglect that we are angry, sad, even jealous, or even like I think to be jealous of about something or about someone, or even feeling greedy about things, all those things, it's just labeled to be only negative, but it's an emotion that people have, right?
Right.
Sadness alone is something we just kind of, trying to get rid of. Oh, you have to be so happy. Show me your teeth. Show me a nice smile. No, I always say that. I mean, I smile for nobody. I smile if I feel like smiling, but I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to put up a happy face for people to feel better because, they have to look at the face that I just have in that moment,
No,
you
I
know?
I have resting bitch face, and you can look at it all you want. I'm not gonna just cheese just to cheese. Like, I get that. I
Yeah,
get that.
but like, and I think it's so important that it's like all those emotions have space, and once you read things here on Substack, people writing so many, writing their hearts out, writing about sadness, about their grief, about you know that I recently just like saw a note where someone said, "Is this world really also difficult and hard and so very sad because we're reading so many sad stories out here?" It's like I think we're reading so many sad stories, not because the world itself is just a terrible place to be. I don't think so at all. But because we just all learn that those feelings are judged before we even speak about it and judged and labeled as being not pleasant. So let's get rid of it. Don't show it. Don't, just it has no space. And for this reason, we need to write about it and search for like-minded people or share our emotions on platforms like this. Because in our daily lives, it's not okay. Like, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. No, what
I
are you gonna say when it's a horrible day? I am so very sad. Everybody be like, okay, you know,
Listen, I don't have time for small talk, so I'm, like, literally the worst of it. So I'd rather you come to me and be like, "I'm miserable today." I'm like, "Alright, cool. We could talk about that."
yeah,
Like, we could talk that out, like, that's cool, like, I'd rather you come and tell me instead of hide and nod or anything like that, but I think you really nailed it. I think, unfortunately, there's too much negative connotations to certain emotions, as if
yeah,
they're not part of a bigger picture of a scale, like, right? There's their balance, right? Like, again, that cliche thing, like, I wouldn't know happiness if I didn't know sadness. Like, how would I know I was happy if I was always happy? Then I would just think I was normal, like, that was regular.
exactly,
And that's not. I mean, nothing is sustainable forever when it comes to an emotion. It's being able to allow yourself to drift with the waves, to allow it all to come and not judge it like the way that they have it. I hate that there is that negative connotation of what are you mad for? It's okay to get angry, or frustrated, or disappointed. Like these emotions are okay to have. So I do agree with you, and I love that you highlighted that. As you know, I have to pay attention to the chat. Alexi said, "Oh hi." The Diary of the Relationship Coach said, "Yes, becoming curious about our feelings as they emerge." I think is something that we're probably not taught to do, right? Like it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember being a kid and like my mom like coaching me through how to navigate my emotions. You know.
No, not like this. I
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like the way that they have like the gentle parent or whatever they call it now. I think like it is the healthier way to to actually raise emotionally stable humans. like,
totally, totally. It totally is. I'm so sure about this, and I think it's a matter of like having a culture in communication, and also emotional communication is so just important. Where you're going to meet people,
mm,
how am I not going to be just reacting on someone's whatever they want to say, and
right.
address to me. If I never learn that, if I don't learn that about myself, I'll only just react. I will never be actively um, changing anything in this world for a better. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I believe.
Yep. I mean, Beth agrees. She says not at all. I just don't think that a lot of us were taught the right things, but I do believe there are ways. I think a lot like we're learning. Like I think generationally we're learning and people are definitely parenting differently than they were 50 years ago, which is probably a good thing, you know. But I don't think there's ever a wrong way to do it. You know, everybody's got to do the best that they can at the phase of the life that they're at, you know. Can I judge my mother for not knowing how to emotionally connect with me and help me when she has never been able to discover that within herself?
Well, and people have different needs as well.
Right.
Not everybody needs the same amount of maybe conversation or whatever. But like for
Or
me,
hug.
it's just yeah, yeah. For me, this is just important. For me, conversation is important. For
Mm.
me, wording is important, and I'm really trying to meet other souls, and to really meet other souls as less judgmental as I can be, because there's something that I um, experienced as being very hurtful in my life. So I am trying to be as open as I can, as honest as I can be, and as mindful as I can be.
And I'm sure that's not easy.
I
I'm
think
sure
this is
it's a
something,
practice. I'm sure you
yes,
have you always been that way?
I, I, I think I've been this way. I haven't had like a clear mission about this, but because of what I've been experiencing, a lot of hatred, a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism, and all those kind of things, I've always felt that it's so very important to meet other people soul to soul before I have an opinion, because this is what I felt was given to me, and it didn't feel good at all.
Right. Mm.
So I was trying to um, not behave in the same way. And the road there is probably has not been easy. On the other hand, I am very grateful that I've learned this, because it became something of a deep value in my life, that this is where I want to meet people, and this is where I want to be met. And I just try to live like this. I
Mm.
I, I just do. And I don't think it's so hard. This is one thing I wrote a song about this, because I thought, um, actually, you don't even have to be very intellectually trained, or you don't have to be very super educated. It's just a normal education of the heart. That is just, you can just be open minded. You just can be. It's just possible. It's just a
It's
decision.
it is literally something that does not come easy to everybody. And that as an open-minded person, you have to also remember. Like
I,
people that are not open-minded, because I very much feel like I am. I completely agree with you and everything like that, but I have to provide always the devil advocate to this other side of it, because I know I've come in contact with people that are not open-minded in the same context that I believe open-minded means. So it's just like when you are open minded, you still have to live with the reality of the fact that there are human beings that you're going to come in contact with that are not. and that things are very black and white for them or whatever the case might be. And that's okay. But that's how I feel sometimes is that it's not easy for everybody to be because sometimes people are very comfortable in the systems that they were raised in and what they know and like to break through from that, by something that's challenged in a more open-minded way would be very hard, because it like their shield is now exposed or something. I that's just like my interactions with people.
I totally hear you. I totally hear you. And I very much agree. I still think one thing, um, and this is where I'm coming to the point where this is a soul's meet. I can,
Mhm.
uh, I don't even need to meet the opinion of a person. In the moment someone is speaking their own truth, as you said, people have different, backgrounds, different surroundings, and different um, also senses for feeling secure and safe. So, but if they are really true and honest in their reality, I can meet them there.
Mm.
And if it's easier for me, then this is me that have to go the longer way, maybe to meet them there. Then it's in my responsibility. And I'm not saying we have to be like, open and it's all peace and love. No, but I'm trying to just live as a responsible as I can to also see other people. And I am so far from being excellent in this. It's an exercise and a practice that I'm just trying to follow. And some days I completely fail. I'm meeting people. I mean, just had an experience like this. I've been facing some super right wing neo Nazi type of people. And I was so hurt. I was so shocked. If I wouldn't been so also scared, I would have probably said something stupid, and insulting because their acting was aggressive and terrible and nothing I could ever be conformed with because a fascist mindset is just nothing I could ever, you know, um, agree with.
That
But I,
100%, my friend.
but, but you still, after this, I still have to know for myself, okay, even I am hurt, I am angry, everything. There are also people that it's their reality. They are going this way. This is what they do. I don't have to like it. I don't have to understand it. I don't have to follow it, but nothing. But it's still not me here to judge anybody. I can just not agree. And I can also actively not agree. Um, but I don't know all their lives. I don't know their everything. And even some people on the street sometimes so rude and so unfriendly. But do I know how their day has been? No, I don't.
Oh, that makes you such a beautiful human, Zoe. And I'm not saying that just to say it, and I'm also not saying the next part just to make me feel better, but I do feel very aligned in that because every day when I do Uber, I'm like, why are some people like some people are just so. But again, I don't know what they're going through or anything like that, and I can give them grace for that. But I love that you highlighted that from everything. I wanted to take a second and just say hello to Allie and Kat. Um, I have some people chatting, and thank you for everyone who's joining. Uh, Michelle said I'm 67 and our parents talked with us. Hmm,
Well, that's amazing.
that is.
This is amazing, and um, so much gratitude and love to to everybody who did that and who's still doing that and raising the children and teaching this and pass this on. Thank you for sharing this, Karen, because not everything has been bad. Definitely not. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there has been some good to come from everything, but um, I have to eventually say goodbye to you, which is never fun for me. I did want to get another question in. I I asked the question that I asked for was from your recent post. So if anybody hasn't gotten the chance, this is Zoe. If you haven't read The Sound of Surrender, I definitely recommend that. I have not gotten to the your questions, my answers yet, but I would just hope everybody would check that out as well. But I kind of wanted to shift a little bit just to Substack as a community in general. Um, what pulled you to Substack in the first place? Was it curiosity, community, or just needing a place for words between the songs?
Um, what is that? A good friend of mine um said, "So you have to check out Substack. This is just for you," because she really is a very good friend, and she knew that I write. She read some of the things that I write beside music, and she said, "Well, this is just for you, and you're gonna love it." And I also read. I'm a big reader. I'm like reading everything I can get. I'm always with a book and everything. So um and I joined and I said, okay, I love it. And I started to love it so much. And I remember one of the first things that I published here, like, oh my God, this is just my words, no sound, no nothing. And it felt so very freeing because
Mm.
it's just new to me. And it's not me as a musician. Uh, who had already been exposed to a lot of things, and it is like, being all over the place and released a lot of music and, all these videos and blah, blah, blah. So here is just my words and my ideas and what really moves me inside besides everything else. And that would kind of really triggered me. I felt like, oh my God, this is something I felt I should be doing. And I am enjoying reading I'm enjoying reading so many people,
Mm.
and it really opens my mind. And especially also the poetry part, it's just funny because I just discovered how many poems I've been writing all the time. Because I have this kind of, what I show you, I have one laying here. I have this kind of books, and it's like books like this. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to show you, like, because it's always the same. I'm writing in there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm like writing, and then it goes here, and it's terrible, And then they're always like kind
As
of
long as
side.
you know what it says, that's all.
Yeah, it gets even worse because it's like
Aw.
it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And but in between those things, oh my God, I can't even look at it because it's really embarrassing. Um,
No, that's how you
but
create your art, my friend.
yeah, but like, and I figured what I do is I write those poems. I call them like my blue note poems because I really got a blue note, and music is something like an in between note, right? It's not clearly this or clearly that. It's like in between note, and I'm writing those poems in between. I'm finding them in my books where I'm writing lyrics for music, and then I happen to be like, oh, okay, when did I do that? I'm trying to figure out when it was and what I had on my mind, and sometimes it completely, it just touches me that I had this idea, and my heart beats so fast when I'm releasing anything here that is just words. It might be a poem or an essay. Um, And it's so different because I've been releasing a lot of music. And when you release a piece of music, like an album I've been working on for a year or something, this is hours and hours and hours, and then first writing the music, and you record it, and then, like all the finishing process. So that's a lot. And it's very exciting because once you release music, you upload it to your digital distributor, and there is this one button. It goes from left to right. Um, and it's worldwide. So once it's there, it's going to be worldwide, really.
Anybody can listen to it.
Yeah. So
Oh,
this is very exciting. It's like, but I have to tell you, I am even more excited when I just go publish when it's an essay or something,
that's dope.
because it's something I just never did, and it feels so raw and direct and personal. And everybody who ever, leaves a comment or gives me feedback means so much to me. It's beautiful. I love Substack. I love the community, and um, yeah, it's amazing. It's a completely new it's a new page that I'm turning in a way for myself. And I mean, the last album I wrote after I was still so full that I've wrote a full book, right? And that was crazy. I was like, when I came back, I don't know how this happened, but I was still like in such a process, and there was so many things going through me that I was like, I had to continue writing. So it's happened to be like this weird story that one day I might publish the whole thing. Um, and yeah, the word has something magical. I think some month ago I wrote something here that said, I am so glad that you can't see me while I write,
Mm,
because it's just the word, and the word itself is holds power, but a word cannot be corrupted as easy, like um something where you can look at the person, because you will not see the person. I don't know who is behind the words. So I will fall in love for the words. I will feel the words. It's like really absorbing me, and I'm learning so much. And then sometimes I just see a person and I go, oh my God, I never thought about, who would be. This is whoever it is. Like,
right, right.
I'm meeting the soul straight. And this is for me, this is really beautiful, because in the music business, you need to, your visual appearance is also so very important.
Mm,
And in a way, it's well, we all are ourselves, right? But in a way, it's just also limiting, because there is a limit. You like look like this, so you must be like this. It's like a lot of judgment and putting into boxes, and I'm so very allergic to
to the
this.
boxes, yeah.
So
Me too.
yeah,
I
and
don't like boxes. I'm not a cat. I'm sorry.
yeah, and cats also don't like boxes. Like
They'll play with
nobody can.
them. They love to play with them, that's for sure. They love to hide in them, scratch them up, fuck them up. But
Yeah,
but I
all those kind of things. Yeah, but
yeah,
these things like, and to me, like it feels very freeing to just write and just like put out things there, and um somehow I discovered that I am trusting my writing voice. I was curious about this, if I would feel very different writing personal essays or anything, if I would feel very different. Uh, and then I really figured out I don't. I I think it's something I've learned from writing a lot of songs, and also, a lot of diaries and things that comes along with writing songs, writing music. At least that's how it is for me. That I already developed um, a voice. Like I do have one. I wasn't sure about this, and I find it so very exciting to see that I actually do have this. So
you
this is a
you
big
have a
one big
you
adventure.
you have a voice. You definitely have a voice. I love your voice. I love your voice in both contexts too, by the
Oh,
way,
thank you so
just
much.
so you know. But I think, yeah, I think for me, like, when you talk about music and how you learn reading music before like real words and everything like that, like it was just something for you. My entire life have always just been good with words, but I never really like thought of doing something with it. Like I didn't realize that it could be like a career path or a calling or something. Like I didn't like I it wasn't the same pull like music. So, you know, the type of writing that I have, sometimes I have to remind myself that like it's very emotional, and I'll beat myself up on like, "Oh my god, I haven't posted anything in like 2 to 3 days. I haven't like," and I'm just like, "You know what? I can't. Like I can't." And that's because I'm just like I'm still processing life, and a lot of what I write is lived experiences that are being reflected and learned from, and then hoping that it's a universal message to help others, even if they didn't live exactly what I went through, they can find, the message within it. So it could be very emotionally draining for me. So I love that music for you though is gives you the energy. Like I feel
Yeah.
like my creative outlet drains me and yours really just gives you that energy. I have to obviously know what's next for you musically, spiritually, creatively. What are you craving more of right now?
Well, you're meeting me in an interesting point in my life. I feel like I am in a vacuum state of self,
Mm,
where I am basically resting, but not in a way resting that I'm not doing anything, but I'm resting because I know I want to do a lot of things. I
mm,
am writing on something musically that actually really is kind of an experimental thing that I want to do with myself because what I never did, I never recorded something that would just be piano and myself. And I mean, I did. There are some songs where I'm just playing and singing, and I do this on, on my social media. You will find me singing and playing, uh, and I do this on stage, of course. Uh, but I want to, and I will record something like this. Um, and I even want to loop myself and certain things so I can sing my own harmonies because I enjoy this. I enjoy doing this so much,
Mm.
and it's a full experiment. Really circling, just being myself with myself, and being completely detached from any other ways of production around me. It's probably going to sound like crap because I want to record it just also myself, but I don't care. This probably more going to be like a mixtape of vision because
Bring
I
it back.
also I like it when the people can be close.
Mm.
I feel in this world where everything gets so automized and everybody's talking about AIs and there is AI. I've just been working with an AI tool for music, which was so very good that like oh my god. Um, but for this, I feel I need the human touch even more, and I want the people to come as close as any possible. So I'm working on opening up myself even more. This is on the music side. And then, well, writing, I am going into something I've been avoiding to do, but I am going to do an editing loop of the full little novella that I've wrote.
That's
Um,
dope.
because it's just like it feels right to do it. And everything I'm learning here, I'm reading wide awake what everybody's writing here, also about teachings, how to do those things. I have no clue. I never did that before. Um, but I learned that editing is important, so I'm going to do this. I will try not to edit until something perfect because I don't believe in this. I believe in the raw voices. I love that. I love when I get this feeling of reading someone else as well.
Yeah.
Mm. But I'm going to do it. And yeah, and I'm gonna see where this will take me to.
I mean, I look forward to hearing some intimate your voice and piano. Like,
I think it's exciting, isn't it? Like,
I think that's a really cool I feel like intimacy really it might be a slower burn, but I feel like it really does bring in a certain type of person, to appreciate stuff like that, and I don't know, I look forward to hearing however you do it, and I know it may not be perfect, but it is gonna be amazing, in all of the ways possible. So, before we wrap up, do you want, to just share with the lovely people here a little of your voice if you're feeling okay to?
let me see if I excuse myself already before because as you can still hear, I'm coughing all the time and I've been singing a lot. So let me try to find something.
If you can, it's okay.
I will try. There is a song that carries your name. It sounds like the wind out, sweet summer rain. Yeah, it just sound like this. I don't
Mm.
sound my
You
best, and you can hear that, but
but you had sent me a song, so I do feel like you have a very specific textured type of voice that is very beautiful. So, whether you
thank
feel good or not, I want you to know like your texture to your voice. Yeah, and I don't know, like a Amy Winehouse type of vibey for me. I don't know how I don't like to compare, but I'm trying to, like, figure out, like, other artists that might have something similar to it or whatever the case might be. But
thankfully so.
I appreciate you, doing that, honestly, especially when you're not feeling great, so, thank you. Thank you. Stop
I
thanking
thank
me,
you so much.
I'm so thankful that you have spent this time with me, that, we've had this opportunity to have this conversation, and I hope that, the people that have watched and the ones that will watch on the replay, really take away how important stillness is and
Oh, yes.
how important it is to be open-minded and how easy it can be to just have a little empathy for your friend next door. Because, the reality of it is we all have stories, and that's why I kind of created the inner room, allow people to share theirs, with the understanding that we are connected in those stories. So I love that we touched a lot of different things, and I hope people took away some great messages here. Do you have anything that you want to say to the people or to me?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you really from the heart. It's such a great pleasure and honor to meet you. I was
Mm.
so looking forward to meet you this way.
Mm.
Um, it's beautiful to meet you because I'm reading you all the time and it gives me so much and really means a lot to me. Thank you for having me. And
Thank you for reading me. I mean, I love to know that my words have maybe helped you, or you've enjoyed or laughed a little bit, or whatever the case might be, because of
all of it, all of it,
you
all of
know.
it. And I'm really grateful for everybody who took the time to join us here. And I thank you. And you know what I want to say is I hope we can keep this space here, Substack, um, as precious as it is right now. And that we always keep this human conversations alive. I think this is so very important. And I am deeply grateful for everybody who dares to put themselves out here and share of their lives. And this is the beauty of the internet that we all have access to.
It
And
is pretty
yeah,
cool.
so
It is pretty cool. But,
thank you,
so this
everybody.
will not be the last time, because I know that we will get to reconnect again, probably next year, because it's already October of this year, which is kind of
Oh,
mind-blowing
yes.
and crazy. But
Yeah.
I always encourage any of my co-hosts to contact me, a couple of months down the road and reconnect with me, and, let's see where we're at. Let's see the goals that we've achieved, or the ones that we find ourselves now working towards, or whatever the case might be. I feel like that's the cool thing about this, is that you're kind of stuck with me, you know.
Oh, yes.
I kinda know where to find you now.
Well, you will know where to find me, and I know
I
where to find you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would love to one day meet all the beautiful people that I have, interviewed in the inner room in person. Like, that is a complete goal of mine. So, because sometimes there's just some moments where I just like, we all deserve hugs. Like, I appreciate all
Yes.
everybody and stuff, so I'd love to be able to actually meet you in person and catch one of your shows or something. That would be really cool. So,
This
again,
is so very cool. Yes, I will let you know. And whenever we make it to Germany, you're always welcome.
I said, I mean, if you ever come back to the States, any of them, let me know.
I will.
But thank everybody that's been watching and in the chat. You've been in the inner room, where the conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truths linger long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward, because that's where the stories that shape us really live. Thank you again, Zoe, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.